it's a good day in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I'm Roy Okert, and I'll be your host for this episode of Let's Talk Jonesboro. Our guest today is Wixson Huffstetler, who is Director of the Jonesboro Parks and Recreation Department and has been with the department since about 2010.
Yes, sir.
And has been Director for the past 4 years almost. Wixson, your domain includes something like 20 parks and 900 acres, so you're all the time driving between one or the other, aren't you?
Yeah, we're a busy department, so we have we're fortunate enough that Jonesboro is spread out, in a big square mileage, and so our parks are all over town, and so we have a lot of territory to cover throughout the day, but it makes it for an interesting job. So.
And you're always in the process, it seems like, of adding one more park to the operation, and one of those that may be in the near future added is a firing range and archery range. Let's talk a little bit about where you are on that project.
That's correct. Yeah, we have recently met with Arkansas Game and Fish, myself and the police chief and the sheriff and the mayor's department. We're looking at building a new firing range for the citizens of Jonesboro and obviously anybody around Jonesboro. Trying to get in skeet and trap range, also long rifle range, pistol range, and then archery range. So it's going to be a one-of-a-kind facility. It'll actually be the biggest facility in the state if we can pull it off and find the right land for this project. So.
And if Game and Fish participates, they'll pay for a good part of the project.
Yeah, right now we're in discussions and negotiations, but the way it's looking is they'll pay 75% and we'll pay 25% of it. So, which is a great deal for us to hopefully move forward with this project. So.
Now that'll benefit the police department.
It will benefit the police department. They'll be able to do their training out there, and I guess they have to have a certain amount of hours a month to shoot. But also it's going to benefit all the high schools for their trap and skeet teams, and the ASU here. ASU won the national trap competition last year. And so it's going to be a big benefactor for everybody in Northeast Arkansas.
So it really fits right into Parks and Recreation.
It does. Most of them are run by Parks and Recreation departments. We'll maintain them with mowing the grass, keeping the field facilities clean, and then we'll also have staff inside the building to whether it's to sell merchandise or ammo, or just there to answer anybody's questions.
Another project that you're working on is a dog park. Mm-hmm. Where are we on the dog park? A lot of interest in that.
We're very close to presenting drawings to the citizens of Jonesboro. We're going to meet next week with the mayor's office. I have the drawings done by Jim Little, the 3D drawings. We're getting pricing right now, what we think it's going to cost to build this. Once that's in place, we'll meet with the mayor to show him the final drawings and the estimated cost, and then we're going to set up another public meeting. And anybody that's interested, we're welcome to come out. And we're going to reveal the drawings and reveal the cost and see how we're going to build this. I have no money in my budget this year for it. So we really want this to be a community-involved project where people go out and help us raise money, kind of like the Miracle League, to build this facility. The drawings are beautiful. It's a nice dog park with expansion to be able to grow, hopefully, as people use it.
And do you know where it'll be yet?
Yes, it'll be located at Craighead Forest Park across from Fort Rotary there at Access 6. I've got about a little over 3 acres there. And the reason I want to put it there is when you go to Craighead Forest Park, most of the people have dogs when they're walking out there. But also it's next to a restroom facility, so I'll have access to a restroom facility and access to water where I can irrigate the property too.
So people will be able to bring their dogs out here and play together.
Play together, yeah. It'll be the way we've got it designed. It's designed in 3 sections. It'll be based on the poundage of the dog. So 0 to 25 pounds will be in one section, 26 to 50 will be in another section, and 51 and up will be in another section. So we'll separate the big dogs from the little dogs so we don't have any fights. And that's kind of been the theme across the country as I've done research on this. It's kind of how the dog parks are.
So my 105-pounder would need to go in the big section.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
You got some other things going on at Craighead Forest. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what's happening.
Yes, we're in construction of our first phase of the new trail out there. It's going to be exactly 3.2 miles, 12-foot wide asphalt trail for runners and walkers, and then families with kids with bicycles and beginner bicyclists. We're gonna hope to leave the advanced bicyclist on the road. But in every quarter of a mile, there's going to be what we call an outdoor workout station. So there'll be 12 outdoor workout stations, and each station will have 4 pieces of different workout equipment at each one. We were able to secure a grant through the Blue and You Foundation, through Blue Cross Blue Shield, to buy the equipment for this. It's a new trend that's going across the country right now with people being able to work outside. It's really popular on the West Coast on the beaches. They have these workout stations everywhere, and there's a trail in Arkansas that has this too. And so I've done some research and kind of grabbed the idea from the West Coast. So hopefully people will like it. It's going to be a beautiful trail. It's going to have several boardwalks across the bigger ravines. But the main issue out there is people walking, whether it be mothers with strollers or mothers or people with dogs on 20-foot leashes, and the cars are on the same road. The road is not very wide out there, and this is more of a safety issue to get people off the road, away from the cars, for them to be safer.
So the only thing they have to worry about are the bicyclists.
Yeah, hopefully the more advanced bicycles will stay on the road. We're going to try to mandate that, and so just kids with bicycles and maybe people that are learning to ride a bicycle will be on the trail. So.
And what's the status of that project?
First phase, the contract is up April 7th, so now, that's weather permitting. We're a little behind because of the weather. So I look for first phase to be done probably by middle of May. And then we will, the designs the plans are almost done for second phase, so we'll send them out to bid here soon, and we'll hopefully roll right into second phase right after that. The trail itself will be done this year. Now, the only thing left we'll have to do is we're going to have to build a new road on the north side of the park, because the existing road will be part of the trail behind the dam there. And so we'll come in and build a whole new road and a new roundabout entrance at the entrance of Craighead Forest Park. So.
And this trail is going to have some workout stations as well, you say?
Workout stations every quarter of a mile. There'll be 12 of them with 4 pieces of different workout equipment.
What kind of workout equipment are you talking about?
I ordered everything that the catalog offers. So it's, we got from bench press to leg press to all different kind of things. I can't even tell you all of them. So I think there's 48 different pieces.
So basically you can go out there and have your workout in the morning.
That's correct. Yeah, you can, you don't have to, obviously, I'm sure a lot of people won't use every station because, you'll be running a quarter, stop running a quarter, but it just gives the opportunity to be able to do more than just run and walk out there.
Is there significance to 3.2 miles?
It is. That's what a 5K race is, and that's what the road is that's out there. And so we have a lot of races that are out there. So hopefully we'll get the bigger races will have to go on the road. The smaller races we want to cater to the trail just to be different and it's safe. We don't have to shut the park down. So.
What else is going on at Craighead Forest?
Well, we're also building a trailhead for the mountain bike group. This trailhead is it's going to be a pavilion type building with bike wash stations where they'll be able to wash their bikes off, hang them up on a rack, wash them off, and then also there are going to be some stations for repair with tool kits that are for bicycles to change flats or to tighten bolts or this or that, and then there'll be picnic tables and there'll be a map of all the trails out there.
And when do you think that's going to be done?
Well, we put it out to bid, and it came in a little high, so we're doing some redrawings on it, and it will have to be done by June 31st because that's when the grant is up. So I'll have to have it constructed and done by then. So.
You mentioned the Miracle League Park a little bit ago. That's kind of become a jewel of Jonesboro, hasn't it?
It has. We're very fortunate. And I can't say enough about the citizens of Jonesboro who stepped up to this project to help us build this facility. When I hired Sharon Turman back in 2011 as our softball coordinator, this was I think her second week on the job. She pulled me and the mayor together and said, "I want to show you a project that I've had a dream about for a long time. I've never been able to make it come true, and I just want y'all to see this, to see if this is a possibility." Well, after 5 minutes of her showing us a video and showing us what it does, the mayor and I were sold. So then at that point, we wanted to figure out how we could do this. And the Parks and Rec did not serve the special need population of Jonesboro with disabilities. That's one area we were lacking in. So it was a great fit for her to come in at the same time and present this, as I knew we weren't serving that area. So with that being said, it took a while for design. I worked about 7 months on design with landscape structures in the Miracle League, National Miracle League office, and then from there forward, we finally got our design and went forward, and everybody in Jonesboro stepped up. I mean, everybody, and I can't thank those people enough for what they've done. And so now we're open, and we are the largest Miracle League in the world. Our ball field is 36,000 square feet, and then we're one of the largest all inclusive playgrounds in the world. So.
And you've been operating it for a little while, but this will be the first full season, won't it?
Yeah, we had a spring and fall, so we had a half of a year, and so this will be our first full year of operation. So we'll have a spring season and a fall season, but we're going to have different events out there throughout the year too. The children with special needs can only play in the spring and fall because of the heat issue. And so those will be our ball times. We're going to do a lot of movies in the park out there. Ritter graciously sponsored our Jumbotron out there, so we'll be able to show movies. We're planning on right now doing one a month and getting that started in the spring and show a movie in the park once a month out there. And we're going to have car shows. The car clubs want to have their car shows out there. And there's all kind of fundraisers events for Miracle League, but also for other organizations too.
You're raising funds for the operations, but you've still got a little bit to go.
Got a little bit of loan left to pay off. So all of our fundraisers that we have scheduled on the calendar will go towards that loan payment back, and hopefully we can get that paid off within the next. My goal is the next 2 years to have it completely paid off.
And you're adding a little bit too as you go as well.
Yeah, adding a little bit too as we go as well, and then so our league sign up is March 7th is when we're going to have start sign-ups. We'll be at the park there, so we encourage everybody to come out and sign up if you have a special needs child. And then our first opening day will be April 2nd.
And even if you don't have a special needs child, you might go out there and see whether you would like to contribute.
That's correct. These kids have to have what they call a buddy system. So we have to have what we say a well-being is partnered up with the special needs children to be able to help them run around the bases and hit the ball. So we encourage companies to really get involved with this. It's great PR for the company, and also it builds relationships with these kids that I promise you'll never forget about. So.
Now, I mentioned this has become a jewel of Jonesboro. It's something that people are interested in from outside of Jonesboro.
It is. I've been very fortunate over the past year to give a lot of tours from other states, other towns. I think last year I did 12 tours. Most of them were from out of state, a few in state, and I've already done 2 this year and have several lined up coming up when it warms up. So Landscape Structures is the company who we put the playground in with, and they are probably the best playground equipment company in the world. In my eyes, they are. But they're all about inclusive play, and what inclusive play means you have people with disabilities and well people that can play together on the same park in the same playground facility. So that to me is a really big attribute to this city to have a park like that, and so I'm trying to help them push inclusive play. I was great, got the opportunity to go speak at their national sales meeting to talk to their sales reps about why it is so important to sell that when you're building a park. It was a great opportunity. It was a great experience. And also I got to go to the National Parks and Rec Convention last year to teach a class on it for them, and they've already asked me to go back in 2016 to National Parks and Rec to teach a class again on inclusive play and tell our story of why we chose to do what we did. So it's an unbelievable experience when you go out there and you see. I'm fortunate enough I have a 4-year-old little boy who is well, and he goes out there and interacts with special needs children. It's a great experience.
What do you mean by inclusive play?
Inclusive play means that the equipment that we have, well-being children and special needs children, whether it be a disability or Down syndrome or something, can all play on the same features together at the same time. It's not limited to just, saying, me or you go out there and we can do certain things on the equipment, but these kids can't get on that equipment because they can't either lift themselves up. But it's all catered to people with physical and disabled opportunities, but also with people with well-being can all fit in one area.
Even if you don't look at the baseball park, That little playground there is quite impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the inclusive part there. But just when you drive up to the entrance of the park, I mean, to me it looks like a minor baseball league facility.
It does.
The architects did a great job designing it, and it really gives the kids and adults. It gives them what they've told me is a chill when they pull into the park. The chills start going down their body. So, and one thing what I'm wanting to do this year and sharing this too, and we're trying to figure out how we go about this, but we're really wanting to start a Wounded Warriors League for baseball. Those guys go over and give their lives to us to protect us, and I think it's only great that we give them back something for them to be able to either play with their children still, or B, for them to still be able to play sports. So we're digging very hard right now on how we're going to start that, and if anybody interested in helping us start that, we really would appreciate that.
Would you do that at the Miracle League field?
Yes, it would be at the Miracle League field. That's correct. Yes, sir.
There are a lot of other things that are going on in the Parks and Recreation Department. One of them is a Wall of Honor. Tell us about.
Yeah, the Wall of Honor is out at the Miracle League. We're in the process of getting the letters made and the sponsorship, what we call the signs of people who donated either time, labor, or in-kind cash to a certain extent. Are going to be on this Wall of Honor to show our gratitude towards these businesses. Without them, we couldn't have done what we did. With it being a $3.2 million project and not one taxpayer dollars has gone in this project is something that I'm very proud to say, and I really harp on that when I go and speak for these other cities and tell them how we did it and why we did it. But that's the key factor is the community coming together. So this Wall of Honor will be a display of people who really stepped up to the plate for us with big donations. Of course, we thank everybody, but the people who really stepped up with the big donations of in-kind or material or cash is going to be on the Wall of Honor.
West End Pavilion, what's that
West End
about?
Pavilion is that's at City Water and Light Park. It's one of our oldest parks in the city. I'm trying to do some upgrades out there. They don't have a pavilion out there, and so I'm trying to place pavilions in all of our parks. It's great for people to have birthday parties at, or just to get out of the sun when their kids are playing. So we're in the process of getting the design for this pavilion. It's going to be paid through CDBG money, through our community block grant development money. And it's going to be a neat style pavilion. That park is in what they call the West End district, so it's kind of the older part of Jonesboro. So we're going to theme the pavilion towards to try to keep it to match the houses out there, an older look type pavilion. So
Now, where is that facility?
it's on West Cherry Street in the west part of Jonesboro.
I mean, that's an old facility.
It is. It's an old facility. In fact, I'm not for sure it's not the oldest neighborhood park we have. I know Earl Bell is the oldest community center we have from 1936, but I think the City Water and Light Park for neighborhood park is the oldest park we have.
Well, you mentioned Earl Bell, and Earl Bell is an old facility.
It is, but it's a great facility.
It's well used, and you got some money from the state recently.
It's heavily used. 2 years ago, I updated the basketball court and took the rubber basketball court out and put in a very nice hardwood basketball court. It is getting used heavily because that's what basketball players want to play on is hardwood. So I knew that. And then we also put heat and air in it for the first time. It's never had heat and air. So the heat and air always came through the windows for the sun was the heat, or open the windows for the air in the summertime. So it was always hot in there. It got well over 100, so it wasn't getting used. So we put in heat and air, and it has become the place to be. We open at 9 o'clock in the morning and shut down at 9 o'clock at night, and there's not a time out there that there's somebody or a group of adults or kids are on that court playing basketball.
Well, the tennis courts are also in use, and that's what the state grant was for.
State grant, yeah. We just received our letter that we got the grant, and so we're going to be in the process of resurfacing the 3 tennis courts there. Those tennis courts get used a lot by citizens of Jonesboro. They can turn the lights on themselves and turn them off when they leave, so it's open to the public that way. And so they're old, they're out of date, and they're cracked really bad. And so we applied for the grant, and so we're going to be able to resurface all 3 of them now.
And what kind of surface will it have?
It'll be the tennis court surface. I don't know what it's called, but it'll be a tennis company. We'll put it out to bid, and a tennis company will come in and strip it all down and resurface it. So.
It's some kind of synthetic surface.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
it's it's on top of asphalt. The courts are asphalt, and then it's some kind of like you said, synthetic surface that goes on top of the asphalt.
You recently had sign up for your basketball season,
Mm-hmm.
your City Stars basketball season. That's been going on for a long time, but that's an incredibly popular program.
It is. It's grown. It really grew this year. We have about 970 kids playing. We started last Saturday, so it's been a little bit of a challenge finding enough coaches. That's about 97 coaches we got to find, but we at the end came through and people stepped up. Moms and dads stepped up to coach the kids. So it's a great program. It's a free program. It's one of our 2 free programs that we offer. Basketball and soccer is our free programs that we offer. And so our soccer program has really exploded, which soccer right now is probably the biggest growing sport worldwide across the world. So, so basketball goes for it's either 6 or 8 weeks, and then we have a tournament at the end, and then we'll start summer basketball this summer, same process. So we're very excited. Gyms are packed on Saturdays. We start at 8 o'clock, and I think we're done at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we run 5 basketball courts all day long.
That's 90 teams, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's crazy to see, but it all works out. You go from 4-year-olds all the way to 18-year-olds. So I always say the 4 to 5-year-olds is like trying to herd cats, and then you got your older kids that understand basketball. But it's great to start the kids at a young age.
Well, just scheduling must be a real.
Scheduling is very tough, but I have a great sports staff that handles all that. Mark Malugin is my basketball and football coordinator, and then he has staff underneath him that put all that together, and so they do a great job at that.
And what facilities do you use for the?
We use Earl Bell facility, we use Parker Park Community Center, and Allen Park Community Center.
So you got those 3 going.
Yeah, that'll be 5 courts total. There's 2 courts in Allen and Parker and 1 in Earl Bell. So hopefully in the near future we'll be able to build a new community center or finish out the old YMCA building to add more courts, because we're in desperate need of court space between basketball, volleyball, indoor soccer, and just practices. So.
You mentioned soccer. The soccer season is coming up.
It is. It's coming up. Our soccer program, we run about 3,100 kids in it in our recreational side of soccer. So it is a growing sport. It's a fun sport, for the kids to get out and do exercise and run. And then also we have our travel side. We've rebranded our travel side. It's now called Arkansas Revolution. It used to be called Tornadoes. We have reestablished a new committee and hired a director of coaching, which is actually the ASU soccer coach for ASU. He is our director of coaching, so he has come on board with us and is making a manual for our coaches to be able to teach the game the proper way for our travel side. So our players that want to have more experience in the better side of soccer play Revolution soccer, and they play rec too, but they travel and go to tournaments. So we're about 300 kids in that, so it's definitely growing. And we really look forward to in the future hosting more tournaments. We host 2 tournaments a year right now here, and so we're trying to get that to 4 and hopefully more than that in the long run.
And facilities for that, how are we fixed for facilities?
We're good on facilities for that. At Joe McCampbell Park, the only thing that we are lacking is lighting out there. Not all the fields are lit. We're very limited on lighting, so I'm trying to, as the years go on in my budget for lighting out there. It's very expensive to put Musco lighting in, but it's very helpful for us. So we have 19 soccer fields at Joe McCampbell Park, so we're good on that. Like I said, we just need more lighting.
And that's a pretty long season too, isn't it?
It is. They play spring, and then travel ball goes through the summer, and then they play fall again. So it's almost year round. And then we do a little bit of indoor soccer, not as much as back when I was a kid, but we don't really have the facility for indoor soccer. So that's something in the future when we look to build a new community center to be able to have indoor soccer in it too. So.
Joe McCampbell Park is also the site for your softball and baseball programs.
Well, baseball and soccer.
Baseball and soccer, okay. And that's going to be coming up pretty soon too, isn't it?
Yeah, baseball's first tournament's the first weekend in March, so it's right around the corner. No, that's weather permitting, but travel baseball starts in March, and recreational baseball starts in June. So the rec side starts later, but travel ball starts in March. So I think there's 3 tournaments scheduled for March. They pretty much have 3 tournaments a season or a month through travel baseball here, which is a huge economical impact to this town. People don't realize how much money baseball and softball brings into these tournaments, but it's a lot. I mean, we fill the hotels up every weekend. It's hard to get a room in this town once those 2 seasons have started. So we try to stagger the tournaments where baseball's on one weekend, we'll do softball the next. Baseball, we work closely together, so that way we're not on top of each other and scrambling for hotel rooms and stuff like that. So
The Cal Ripken Junior tournament last August, I guess it was, really gave baseball in this town a boost.
It did. You know, my staff out there has done such an incredible job keeping the park clean and the grass in great shape. We were ranked #1 facility in the south central part of the country for Cal Ripken. And so we were able to host the Cal Ripken 10 under World Series Finals last year. It was a great event, 12 days. A lot of people were here. There was a lot of planning that went into that tournament, but once it got here, it ran very smoothly. They were very impressed with the things that we did differently from other Cal Ripken tournaments that they've held. When we had a firework display, we had at check-in, we had all kind of things for the kids to give them in bags, and so it was a very good turnout. And they were so impressed that they already have contacted us trying to figure out when we're going to host the next one. So, with that being said, we will have to sit down and see what year is available because they plan those out years in advance. And so hopefully we'll be able to bring back the World Series again here.
Now, with all these competition areas for kids, that costs some money. How do you pay for all that?
It does. You know, like I said, soccer and basketball is free. Now, we do charge $2 a person to get in to watch the game. So that pays for our operation sides of paying the referees and officials. But you go into softball, baseball, football, and there is a fee for the kids to play. And then that fee turns around how we pay for the officials, the equipment, and stuff like that. So it's a unique situation in sports on how you get your money, you know, and also through sponsorships and through my budget, we pay for some of it too. But my assistant director, Danny Capalis, is a finance guy, and that's one of the main reasons I hired him. And so he keeps us straight, and he's very good with the aspect of knowing how we need to do, how much we need to charge to be able to break even or make a little bit of money. So.
You also operate adult softball leagues. The city does.
Adult softball leagues, we do that. We have an adult basketball league too that I run, and so it's the adult softball. You have men's league, you have a church league, and you have a co-ed league. So there's 3 leagues, and they play throughout the week. And then there's several tournaments that are hosted throughout the year for adult softball too. Adult softball back in the '90s was a big sport. We've seen a decline in the last few years, the last 10 years of it, due to just, you know, families have so much other things to do now. There's so much more that kids can do. They're playing sports year-round now instead of seasonal, and so it kind of cuts into mom and dad's time too. So we you know, we've been steady the last 2 years on our numbers, but we're definitely down from where they were in the early 2000s to the late 90s. So.
Well, some of us just got too old for it.
Yeah, some of them got too old. It is, I think it all attributes to the kids are playing so many sports, either playing so many sports or playing one sport year round. So.
Have you ever tried to figure out how many people are touched by the city parks and recreation?
Well, we know how many kids we run through. We ran 6,654 kids through our programs last year. Wow. So we know kids. Now, how many we touch, no, because, I mean, you have to count brothers and sisters that come to games and stuff like that. So we just know that we touch a lot of people. We try to be very positive in everything we do. Of course, there's always the negative aspect of any sports, but we try to make those positive scenarios when they happen. But we touch a lot of people, not just in Jonesboro, but Northeast Arkansas, the state, and surrounding states, especially when you get into the travel side of sports.
You've always got a lot of balls in the air. So.
We do. You know, baseball is averaging 50 to 55 teams a tournament on average. The highest, the bigger tournaments, they average about 90. Softball is the same. We're about 55 to 60 teams a tournament. In our bigger tournament, which is the Mountain Dew Classic, we had 98 this past year. So,
you are doing what you prepared for. You were a sports management major.
Yes, sir.
And so you've certainly got your hands full of sports management.
Yeah, it is. It's I love my job because it's a different day every day. It's not going sitting behind a desk and shuffling paper and looking at a computer screen. So that's what I love about my job, and I love helping kids. Now that I have a son, I want to be able him to have the best place to be able to play and practice, so he'll have the best chance to succeed.
Well, Wixson, thanks for taking time to be with us for this program, and we thank the viewers for watching.